Okay, let's play a little game of time travel. I want you to imagine it's 2023.
All right, I'm with you.
We're sitting in some coffee shop, maybe, scrolling through charts on our phones, and I tell you that by February 2026, today, Ripple has effectively defeated the SEC.
I know exactly what I would have said back then.
What's that?
I would have told you XRP must be trading at, what, $10? Maybe 20. That was the God candle scenario everyone was praying for.
Right. It was the ultimate what if. But here we are. It's early 2026. Ripple ticked every single one of those boxes.
Every single one. It wasn't a partial win. It was a clean sweep.
And yet, I'm looking at the charts this morning, and XRP is struggling to even hold $1.60. It's down roughly 50% from its peak last year.
Mm.
So the mission for this deep dive is, well, it's pretty simple, but it's probably the most uncomfortable conversation in crypto right now. We need to figure out if the market is broken or if the story we all told ourselves was just wrong.
It's the Ripper paradox. But honestly, it's bigger than just one token. Looking at our research stack for this, we've got data from Silicon Valley Bank, Storm2, Investing.com. This paradox is the perfect lens for the entire U.S. blockchain industry in 2026.
How so? Because usually good news means the price goes up.
That's the old logic.
Yeah.
But we've moved from what I call the mystery phase to the plumbing phase. And it turns out plumbing is essential, it's profitable, but it's incredibly boring for speculators.
Boring isn't what people holding the bags want to hear. But okay, before we get into the price crash, give us a vibe check. February 2026. What does the industry feel like right now?
The vibe is the suits have arrived. And they didn't just visit for a conference, they bought the building.
Ah.
The Q4 2025 reports from Silicon Valley Bank show the whole narrative has shifted from speculation to infrastructure. The CFOs are running the show now.
Give me a concrete example. What does that look like?
Corporate treasuries.
Hmm.
As of late 2025, there were 172 publicly traded companies holding Bitcoin on their balance sheets. That's up 40% in just one quarter. It's not a maverick move anymore. It's just standard practice.
Mm.
But the really important trend, and this is key for Ripple, is something analysts are calling vertical integration.
Vertical integration. Okay, break that down for us in crypto terms.
It just means the big players are tired of using third parties. They want to own the whole stack. 2025 was a record year for M&A. You had Coinbase buying Deribit for $2.9 billion. Kraken bought NinjaTrader for $1.5 billion.
So Coinbase is saying, we don't just want to sell you Bitcoin, we want to sell you the options on that Bitcoin, and we don't want to share the fees.
Exactly. They want to own every single layer of the transaction, and you see it everywhere. Chainalysis is the trust layer for government. Consensus is the engine for Ethereum. Solana Labs even launched a smartphone to own the hardware.
So the industry is condensing, the little guys are getting bought out, and the giants are becoming these full-stack platforms.
That's it. And this context is so crucial because Ripple tried to do exactly this. They went vertical, got compliant, became infrastructure, and the market punished the token for it.
Let's zoom in there, because on paper, late 2025 looked like a victory lap.
Oh, it was. If you just look at the timeline from Coinborough and Investing.com,
Yeah.
the wins were just staggering. First, the SEC lawsuit, the cloud that hung over them since 2020, it finally ended in August 2025.
The SEC wanted $2 billion.
Wanted $2 billion. They got $125 million.
That's a parking ticket for a company like Ripple.
A massive victory. And crucially, the court said secondary sales of XRP. So when you or I buy it, are not securities. Then in December, they got conditional approval from the OCC for the Ripple National Trust Bank.
A literal bank, not a crypto company pretending to be one.
A federally chartered bank.
Correct.
Then came the ETFs from Bitwise and others. And finally, they launched their own stablecoin, RLUSD.
Okay, hold on. This is the crux of it. They beat the SEC, they became a bank, they got ETFs, and launched a stablecoin. In any rational market, XRP should be at an all-time high. Instead, it hits 365 in July 25, and now it's fighting to stay above 160. Why?
The term analysts are using is catalyst exhaustion.
Catalyst exhaustion. Sounds like a fancy way of saying people got bored.
It's a bit more mechanical. Think about it. For 5 years, the price of XRP was basically propped up by anticipation. You bought it because you thought, when they beat the SEC, it'll move.
Or when the ETF launches.
Right. The price was a container for all that hope.
And now the container is empty.
Precisely. The news happened. The mystery is gone. That speculative premium, the extra value based on what if, it just evaporated.
Is there hard data for that?
The data is brutal. Look at the ETF flows. The initial launch brought in about $1.3 billion, a solid start. But data from a recent Monday showed $405,000 in outflows.
Money leaving.
Money leaving.
And Bitcoin.
On that same day, Bitcoin ETFs took in $561 million.
Ouch.
It shows fragile conviction. Institutions treated the XRP ETF as a trade, not a long-term investment. They bought the rumor, sold the news, and moved on. Bitcoin is digital gold. XRP was a litigation play.
So if the price is down, does that mean Ripple, the company, is failing? Because in the normal world, if your stock tanks 50%, there are some serious problems.
And this is the most important distinction. The token price is down. But Ripple, the company, is probably stronger than ever. They're executing that vertical strategy we talked about. They're pivoting to become a kind of crypto super bank.
And spending a fortune to do it. The acquisition list from Storm 2. They went on a serious shopping spree in 2025.
A multi-billion-dollar spree. This isn't small stuff. They bought a prime brokerage called Hidden Road for $1.25 billion.
Okay, stop there. Prime brokerage. For anyone not on Wall Street, why does a crypto company need one of those?
Great question. So imagine you're a hedge fund. You want to trade crypto, but you don't want the mess of managing keys or dealing with 10 exchanges.
You want someone to handle it all.
A prime broker does all that for you. Custody, credit, a clean interface. By buying Hidden Road, Ripple can now go to a Goldman Sachs and say, we can handle your entire crypto operation end to end.
The white glove service for the suits. What else?
They bought a treasury management software firm, G-Treasury, for $1 billion, and a stablecoin platform called Rail for $200 million.
I'm sensing a theme here. Treasury software, stablecoins. None of this sounds like it's about the XRP token. This sounds like TradFi.
You're hitting the nail on the head. They're building a bridge from traditional finance to DeFi. But here's the risk that analysts at the Motley Fool point out. Cannibalization.
Cannibalization, like eating their own young?
In a business sense, yes. Ripple launched RLUSD, their own stablecoin, to compete with Circle's USDC. Now, put yourself in the shoes of a bank. You need to settle a $10 million transaction. Do you use XRP, which might crash 10% in a day?
No way. I'm a banker. I hate risk.
Or do you use RLUSD, which is guaranteed to be worth $1?
I'm taking the stablecoin every single time.
Exactly. Banks are allergic to volatility.
Yeah.
So if Ripple gets banks to use their new platform, those banks are going to use RLUSD for settlement.
Which brings up the massive, uncomfortable question. If the banks use the stablecoin, do they still need XRP?
Well, Ripple's counter-argument is that XRP is a bridge currency. It's for messy, illiquid corridors, like, say, moving money from the Philippine peso to the Thai baht.
Okay.
You go peso to XRP to baht. It's fast and cheap.
Sure, but the bulk of global finance is not peso to baht, it's dollars to euros.
Correct. And RLUSD handles those major corridors perfectly. So you have this strange dynamic where Ripple's success with its new product might actually reduce the need for its original one.
That is a tough pill to swallow for the long-term holders. All right, let's shift to the corporate side. IPO rumors have been around forever. Is 2026 the year?
It is complicated. Ripple's president, Monica Long, gave a hard no. She said they have no immediate plans to go public.
Why not? They don't need the money.
They don't. They have a $40 billion valuation, and they just raised another $500 million. Plus, they're waiting for the U.S. regulatory dust to settle.
But there's always a but in crypto. I saw a note about an XRP-related company going public via a SPAC.
Yes, this is the curveball. A firm called Evernorth. They aren't Ripple, but their main asset is a huge pile of XRP, about 388 million tokens.
A holding company, basically.
Exactly. And they are going public via a SPAC in Q1 2026.
So it's a proxy bet. If I'm an institutional investor and I want exposure to XRP, I just buy Evernorth stock.
Right. It's a clever loophole for institutional capital.
You mentioned waiting for the regulatory dust to settle. What's happening in Washington?
Washington's kind of in a stalemate. On the plus side, we got the Genius Act signed in July 2025.
The Genius Act. I love these acronyms.
Yeah. It set clear rules for stablecoins. Said reserves have to be one-to-one with cash or treasuries. That was huge for RLUSD. It gave them legitimacy.
But there was another bill, the Clarity Act.
Yeah. That one was the heartbreaker. Installed in January. That bill would have officially classified XRP as a non-security.
Why did it fail? I thought everyone was on board.
Industry infighting. The bill had some restrictions on DeFi that Coinbase didn't like, so they pulled support, and the whole thing just faltered.
So partial clarity, but not total clarity.
And now everyone's just watching the 2026 midterms. It's a toss-up. Republicans need 4 seats to take the Senate, and their seat is more crypto-friendly. But who knows?